I want to get like 2 points through, and we've talked about it before, but now's a good time to remind people. Number one, I don't know where this president, I was going to say man, where the president gets off connecting a private oil pipeline that's really used for foreign exports, which in reality is not going to help create wealth for the United States of America. It's going to help create wealth for a plutocratic oil company and its CEOs and its shareholders. How he's calling that an infrastructure project. That's not an infrastructure project. He equated it with highways and crumbling, what did he say? Crumbling highways and bridges with, this is a high priority infrastructure project. So I'd like your thoughts on that. Also, people still need, because the media, it mind-boggling to me. I didn't see any of it today. This man is invested in the pipeline. Any reports that have said he has sold his shares is unfounded. It's not public if he has. And by the way, he's not only invested directly in Energy Transfer Partners. He's invested in a company called Phillips 66, which owns a quarter of this. So he is directly making money off of this. Listen, I don't like Hillary Clinton. I know you're not a fan, but let's be honest. If this was Hillary Clinton and she was invested, we'd be calling for her head. And everybody would be calling for Republicans too. So what are your thoughts on those?
Well, I mean, Jordan, this all started. I mean, I think you'll agree with me on this, that we have lots of issues with a lot of media personalities, but we're going to tip our hat somewhat to Chuck Todd and his interview with Kellyanne Conway, who was Trump's campaign manager and now special advisor on Meet the Press, where he was really, really pressing her. And we got like the new amazing hashtag alternative facts. So kudos to Chuck Todd on that, first of all. I think that they let Spicer off the hook the next day on Monday when he actually had his official press conference. But in terms of what happened today during the press conference, Spicer did indicate that Trump does have money, at least in Energy Transfer Partners. He specifically said, go look at the transcript. It's only thousands of dollars, which in the scheme of things doesn't mean much for a billionaire, which it doesn't matter if it's $10. It's the conflict of interest. So that's first of all. The second thing that I would encourage people to check out is literally the spike in price for both TransCanada Corporation, which is the parent company for KXL, and Energy Transfer Partners, which is for DAPL, and look at their ticker today. Since yesterday, when there was speculation that these executive actions were going to occur, their stocks have been trickling up, and the moment that he announced it, you'll see this amazing spike. So today, at one point, TransCanada was up about nearly 3.5%. And Energy Transfer Partners went up 4.5%. That's real money if you have a bunch of money invested in those companies. So people made money off of this announcement, which you could say this is not the first time we have seen this president use either social media in the form of Twitter, or in this case, the executive office, to essentially manipulate energy stocks. I mean, that's what happened today, really. So I really hope that more media look deeper into this, as you were saying, because the fact of the matter is that he is not 100% divested from companies that have some stake in either of these pipelines. It's a really, really big problem, and it has to be looked into. Like you said, if Hillary Clinton was like even close to involved, it would be the scandal of a lifetime. What we can't allow ourselves to do is allow an idea like alternative facts to become normalized. We've already normalized this man's bigotry. We've normalized this man's racism. We've normalized this man's sexual assault and promotion of violence against women. We cannot allow for the normalization of basically dissipating the framers' idea of the First Amendment. We can't allow for the executive office to tell blatant lies and not hold them accountable for it.
And two more things. Number one, first, I don't know where he got this number. He said, Keystone XL is going to create 28,000 jobs. Where? In what country? Because I wasn't as active covering Keystone as I am DAPL. But all these pipelines, it's the same old song. You got temporary jobs during construction, and then you have maybe half a dozen people in a control tower once it's running. DAPL and Keystone do not create full-time permanent jobs. unless you count jury duty as full-time
Right,
job,
right.
because now we're seeing all these trials in North Dakota for all these water protectors that have been, in my view, illegally charged with bogus charges. So I think, to the layman who's watching this and like, yeah, Trump, he's bringing back jobs. These do not create jobs. Am I wrong?
Well, look at just, I mean, these we're not going to even dispute them on this. We're just going to refer people to the EIS that was done for Keystone XL, less than, I believe, 500 permanent jobs, and this is for a international pipeline, and then less than 100 permanent jobs for the Dakota Access Pipeline. And that, I mean, these aren't our words. Just go read the environmental assessment for DAPL and the environmental impact statement for KXL. I would argue, Jordan, that if anyone deserved thanks, it would be the water protectors who probably brought in more economy to that region of the country through the purchasing of camping equipment, food, hotels, gas, etc. Probably would account for more of an influx of cash to that region than any of the construction that has been or will go on. The only people who are really going to be making money are the Morton County Sheriff's Department, who are getting paid overtime to take away fundamental constitutional rights from peaceful water protectors. Those are the only people who are going to be making off at the expense, by the way, of the North Dakota people's tax dollar, because the executive order that was signed by the governor to basically increase the police presence was funds taken by the North Dakota taxpayer. So North Dakota taxpayer, you are basically getting screwed by your own governor, who is basically taking your money to fight people who are just basically standing up for what's right and what's moral.
And let's not forget, on top of that, that Kelsey Warren, the CEO of Energy Transfer Partners, literally transparently offered to pay for the Morton County Sheriff's Office bills. So you're literally bribing the police office that is doing your dirty work and basically assaulting unarmed people.